The kids come here on field trips, not really sure what they will find. That's when it gets fun, because inside the Chesapeake Planetarium, it becomes magical. The introduction to the next frontier, the possibilities unveiled with spectacular flair.
This machine in the middle of the room is the planetarium. The building gets its name from this machine. It has a great wow factor. When they walk in the building, the first thing they say, it's bigger inside than it is outside. And I tell them that's true. The dome inside is larger than the dome outside. And they look very puzzled about that. But the dome inside is a complete hemisphere. The dome outside basically is just a cap on the tall walls of the building. But they're all excited about it. And I don't have any discipline problems because students are really interested in astronomy and the stars and the planets, the idea of life in outer space, the idea of Earth being the only planet known to have life. So let's make it look more like a planetarium. And
Robert Hitt Jr. understands because he's been living the galaxy life since he was a teenager. Seems he, like so many, did not know what he wanted to do with his life. So he looked to the stars, literally.
I was a biology major in college and went on a field trip across the state, ended up on the Blue Ridge Mountains on a moonless night with a rich star field, looked up and literally said, I've got to do this. And it sort of changed the way my direction in college, and I started majoring more in the natural sciences and astronomy and physics, and it just became a whole new aspect of what I wanted to do. I found this planetarium out in the middle of nowhere in Great Bridge at that point. It was dark and a great dark sky location. And soon after that, I found a planetarium in West Virginia and became director of that, and then moved to this planetarium, and have been here going on 46 years. The story is Zeus struck Pantheon out of the sky with a bolt of lightning.
Thus began a journey, and this particular planetarium became his personal playground. And this particular planetarium became possible because of, ready for this, Russia.
The planetarium is a direct result of the Russians putting Sputnik in orbit. When the space race began, the government gave a lot of money for science and math and foreign language, and so this planetarium was built with what's called National Defense Education Act money. It opened in 62-63 school year.
For space is man's new frontier.
Here's a model of the solar system. There's no place else like Earth. If you want to go live on Mercury, it's so hot in the sun your blood would boil, yet you'd freeze in the shadow of a big rock.
He is just amazing, and I just love to sit and listen to him speak, but he is just a phenomenal individual, and just our city has been so fortunate to have had someone with such a vision and such energy and such knowledge.
The goal is to make the skies exciting. Yes, kids will come into it not knowing what to expect. How they leave is what is important.
Well, my children especially love coming to the planetarium. They love the planetarium. It makes education fun and exciting, and it makes it fun and exciting for them to learn about science and astronomy. And not only do they learn about it, but then they come home and teach my husband and I about it, so we get an education too.
If you want to go to Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune, those planets are not even solid. You can't even land on them.
The engagement has to be a combination of art and science. In other words, the facts only resonate if the kids feel some tingles.
And it's really an instructional tool to motivate students to get interested in the sciences. And so each day we have grade levels come through here. We present programs based on what they're doing in the classroom.
And Hitt isn't just interested in the history, he's on the move, trying to find the next intriguing marvel, even if it means going around the world.
I flew to Tahiti and boarded a ship, and this eclipse would be visible only at sea. No place on land would see it total. So if you saw this eclipse, you had to be in a boat in the Pacific Ocean. And this eclipse only lasted 33 seconds, which seems crazy to go around the world for 33 seconds.
It is that passion that creates a buzz among students. They can feel it because it's reflected in the substance of a man who understands how to reach children.
And my 9-year-old said it was so fun to sit in the dark and see the stars and the constellations, and she was especially fascinated with the stories, the myths and the legends behind the constellations.
So the kids are lucky to have the resource, and the man is lucky to have his job. Call it the perfect fit for Dr. Hitt.
I'm lucky to have the job. This is a great job.
Life to the Max is brought to you by LifeTouch, photography for a lifetime.